Welcome back to English Time. Today we are going to discuss the remaining part of the memoir written by Sajeesh. Yes, so where do we start? Yes, we discussed about the trained ravens brought by a person for a movie. So next, today we are going to discuss about the condition of Indian cinema at that time. Okay, so look at the page number, paragraph number 7. Needless to say, in our own country, it is not at all easy to find trained animals. Although some films have been made in Bombay and Madras that involved working with elephants, horses and tigers. So we discussed about Hollywood in the previous passages. Different animals, different animal actors. Then what about the condition of Indian film industry at that time? Yes, it is not at all easy to find trained animals. Although some films have been made in Bombay and Madras that involved working with elephants, horses and tigers, only a very few movies were made with the animal actors. And those animals also were elephants, horses and tigers. And these movies were taken in Bombay and Madras. Okay, Bombay, that is means nowadays Mumbai, and Madras. Madras means nowadays Chennai. It is changed, name changed. Then their performance did suggest that they were used to obeying commands. Then when we analyze those animal actors, we can understand one thing. They were used to obey orders. These animals, elephants, horses and tigers, they used to obey orders. Means in circus, in the other fields, some animals may be there, trained animals may be there. They will obey whatever the orders are given. Unlike the animal actors in the Bollywood industry, these animal actors, we cannot call them actors, just they come and do whatever the instructions orders given by the owner of that animal. But we know the animal actors in the Bollywood industry, the actors, they could make anything to do with those whom that animal actors. So we cannot compare those animal actors with our actors in the Indian cinema industry. That were entirely different. In Bengal, it is sometimes possible to find clever dogs, particularly police dogs, which are quite intelligent. In Bengal cinema industry, some film actors or animal actors were there. They were dogs. They were from the police department. In our police department, what will be there? Trained dogs will be there. So they will be ready to obey the orders of whom? Yes, their masters. So such dogs were there, and they were very clever. If one is prepared to be patient, then one condition say, if one is prepared to be patient, it is not altogether impossible. It is possible. We can say, if you are ready to wait, it is possible to get good performances out of them. Then Satyendra who makes his statement that what if you are ready to wait, it is possible to get good performance from these tigers and animals, elephants and dogs. As we managed to do with Bhulo in Pathir Panchali. They used Bhulo in Pathir Panchali. So animal actors used in his movie Pathir Panchali. Okay, so yet a dog might be difficult, not impossible to handle. Yet a dog might be difficult. Even though sometimes it will be difficult to handle these dogs. What was one supposed to do if there was need for a tiger in a film? Then sometimes what making whom a dog to act a particular scene was itself a tough one. Then what about this whom and tiger? That is what who is asking. Yes, who is asking? Sajeesh is asking. We had to deal with this problem too when we were shooting Gooby Gaina Baga Baine. Then here who is Tidra is going to explain an experience from his own life. They were shooting Gobi Gaine Baga Baine, a movie. In the film, Gobi, who is banished by the king, wanders in the forest, meets Baga, who is also been banished. Banish means what? To be sent away to the forest, not allowed to return to the village. That is what banish. So kings, this was a story of a king, and then here who, yes, Gobi, who was banished by king. He was, as a punishment, he was sent. Gobi was sent to the forest, and another person, Baga, was also same like that, sent by the king to the forest as a punishment. So both of them were in the forest. Then they see a tiger and freeze, and that is what the scene they were going to take. So Baga and Gobi and Baga, they were going to meet from the forest. Okay, a very important scene from that movie. Gobi Gaina Baga Baine. Then, but the tiger simply was about in the forest without paying them the slightest attention. So in that scene, who Gobi and Baga who comes close, at that time they see a tiger, and they are free. They will be freezed when they see a tiger. But no need of more scenes or more action from whom that tiger. Why? Because just it wants to come and stand and leave the place. That was enough. But these two members will be freezed. That was the scene. When we explain, you may think it is very easy, but taking that shot is not easy. Okay. So without paying attention, without paying attention, that tiger leaves the place. So very simple. When we say, it is very simple. Okay. Having thought of the scene, I simply had to shoot it. Having thought of the scene, I simply had to. Yes, he thought about that scene, but he had to shoot it. Why? Because it was a very important scene. But were we going to find a tiger? Human means human actors are there. Baga and Gobi are there. What are there? But who is needed? Tiger is needed. So from where they were they going to find a tiger? From where they can find a tiger? Is it easy? Is it available in all markets? No. Or is it available with any person? No. Nobody will be there nobody will be there as a person who trains a tiger. So, of course, we have to go to work. Yes. We have to go to. The obvious thing to do was to look in a circus, since they were likely to have trained animals. So, of course, obvious means clear, easy. It was very clear that they should go to a circus to find a tiger and a person to control that tiger, because that was only available there. So as a matter of fact, one called Bharat Circus was visiting Calcutta at that time, holding shows in Marcus Square. So luckily, there was a circus team named Bharat Circus. Even now also it is the Bharat Circus. So Bharat Circus was what? They were visiting, or they were shows were given by were Marcus Square by this Bharat Circus team. So he understood. If we go there, we can meet the manager and we can request him. So they took a distance to go and talk with that manager. We sent someone to make an appointment with its Tamil manager and then went to meet him one morning. So first of all, they sent one person, whether they were ready to allow them to make an appointment or not. So they went, one messenger went to Bharat Circus management and they met that management and they asked requested for an appointment of Sajeesh. Then it was made, the appointment was made, and they went to the circus camp one day. He greeted us warmly and ordered South Indian coffee for us. Then Satyajit and his friends reached there, and the Tamil manager welcomed them and greeted him, and also what he ordered South Indian coffee. He is from Tamil Nadu, so South Indian coffee he ordered. The manager heard the reason for our visit. Then after casual talk, the Tamil manager asked for the reason for their arrival. Then they explained that reason. Then sent for one Mr. Thorat. Then what? The manager heard the reason for our visit and then sent for one Mr. Thorat. Then he sent one person, his helper, to call one person. Who was he? It was Mr. Thorat. Who was he? He turned out to be the ringmaster. So he was the ringmaster. Mr. Thorat means who gives training to this tiger. He too was a South Indian, very well built, with features somewhat like those of a Nepali. So, who Thorat? When you hear that name, you may not be able to understand from which state he comes. So he was also from Tamil Nadu, and but he was very strong, well built, and was features somewhat like a Nepali. The people from Nepal, they were very strong. So he was like a Nepali. He was perhaps no more than 40. He was not an aged man, below 40. He showed us an old scar on his forearm. He showed them what his forearm. What there was a scar, means a mark of a wound which had been caused by whom? Yes, tiger. So he got an attack he was attacked by the tiger. So he showed. So he is the tiger is not a kind one. He may be angry sometimes. Then we told him what we wanted. Then explained why did they come. The shooting was taking place near Shiori in Birbhum. Then they said, it is in a city, Calcutta city. That Bharat Circus and Ray all are there in the city. So they have to take that scene from where? Yes, from a forest. So in city, forest will not be available. So they have to go. So they took a place where Shiori in Birbhum, a place in where? Yes, Bengal. We wanted to show a tiger in a thick bamboo grove. Why? Because they wanted to show that tiger in a thick bamboo grove. According to that, what the script that whom the tiger was coming out from a bamboo forest. So bamboo forest in India. So Birbhum, there was in Birbhum, at Shiori there was a bamboo forest. So they selected that place as the location for that shooting. All the animals was required to do was come out of the bamboo grove into an open space, pace gently for a while, look at the camera if possible, and then go back. So what was the scene of that tiger? Very simple. What all the animal was required to do. That animal only wanted to do only one thing was come out of the bamboo grove. Inside the bamboo grove, tiger standing, and it comes out of that bamboo grove into an open space. In front of that bamboo grove, there is an open place where we standing these two members, Baga and yes, Gubi. Pace gently for a while. Pace means moves gently, not running, jumping, nothing. Just walking. Look at the camera if possible. Just walking. If it is possible, that tiger should look at the camera. Means when it looks at the camera, the audience will think that that tigers looking at that these actors or audience. So that also, and then go back. This is what I see. Very simple. Just coming out of the bamboo and moving very slowly, and if it is possible, just look at the camera. I'm going back. Could a tiger from Bharat Circus do this job? They explained it. Could this job? Could a tiger from Bharat Circus do this job? Can you arrange a tiger for this scene? That was the question. Mr. Thorat nodded. He said, yes. How long will you need it for? How long will you need it for? How many days needed? Asked the manager. Perhaps a couple of hours for the shooting, I replied. But that would be in addition to the time it will take to travel to and from Shiori. Perhaps a couple of hours for the shooting. Only a couple of hours, 2-3 hours only for that shooting, I replied. But that would be in addition to the time it will take to travel to and from Shiori. Just a couple of hours. That is enough. More only few hours needed for that few hours needed for that, or 2 hours needed for that shooting. So no need of more days, he said. On being told that the travel itself should take no more than 2 days, the manager agreed to put the tiger in its cage and send it in a lorry. So the travel from Calcutta to Shiori in Buyurboom will take nearly 2 days. Then, but only 2 hours shooting only. So only 2 days are needed for the shooting. So my Tamil manager was ready. Okay, he was ready. He was agreed to put the tiger in its cage and send in a lorry. They will take that put the tiger in a cage, and that cage will be kept in a lorry, and by using that lorry they can go to Shiori in Buyurboom. Like that, an adjustment was made by the Tamil manager. He invited us to take a look at the tiger. Then the manager said, "You come with us and we will show you the tiger." Do you think it is going to be easy to set the animal free in a bamboo grove? I couldn't help asking. Then what? Then Louise asked. Then Ray asked, "Do you think it is going to be easy to set the animal free in the bamboo grove?" In the movie, yes, tiger should come out from that bamboo grove freely and stands there freely and moves freely and goes back freely. Everything should be free. Ultimately, that tiger should be free. In circus, what will be that they will tie their neck with a chain. then no problem. But here it was a problem. So he asked, will it be easy to set that tiger free? It's a very important question now. Yes. So we have to get that answer, and we have to find out what happened after taking that tiger to Birbhum, and whether that shooting was successful or not. All will be discussed in the next class. So here we are going to wind up today's class. So read this lesson, this part of this lesson very carefully, and go through that side question answers and find out the answers and send me. Okay, bye.